You ever pay $250 a month for something they should cost you maybe $45? That was me. Paying AWS to host OpenSearch for my Rails app. Slow, kind of opaque, and kind of expensive. And now I'm running Elasticsearch myself for 1/5 of the cost, and arguably it's better. I'm Phil Smyth. I run Zonmaster, a Rails-based SaaS that deals with tons of Amazon data. Recently, I migrated our search backend from AWS OpenSearch to a self-hosted Elasticsearch 7.10.2 instance on Hetzner. In this video, I'm going to walk you through why I did it, how I pulled it off with relatively no downtime, and what I learned, including some stupid bug that I found probably years too late. I'll even show you the scripts I used and a link so you can download them for yourself. So, why did I leave OpenSearch? First of all, it's expensive. It was about $250 a month to run OpenSearch, which was basically a single Elasticsearch instance that I could do on Hetzner for about $45 a month with a dedicated server. Also, like all of AWS services, OpenSearch is kind of a black box. The logs, the performance, the cluster health, you can kind of see it, but you can't really see it and can't really do anything about it. And finally, for me, the performance, it never felt snappy. Now, could that be me? Was it the infrastructure? I don't really know, and I couldn't really know. So when I saw the price savings, that's when I decided to jump ship. So here was my migration plan. First of all, of course, I set up Elasticsearch 7.10.2 on Ubuntu 22. I made a bunch of settings that I'll put up on the screen. The reason I chose 7.10.2 is because I'm using Elasticsearch Rails, and that gem has some weird compatibilities, and I did not want to change my Elasticsearch version. That's a recipe for disaster. I had 4 huge indices. I wanted 0 downtime and 0 app changes. So let me show you what this looked like in practice. Step 1, scroll and reimport. So I had a Ruby script called migrate index that went through my 4 indices, and for each one did a scroll, got the data, pulled it from OpenSearch, and pushed it into Elasticsearch. That was the best way I could find to do it. With Elasticsearch to OpenSearch or vice versa, you couldn't really do a replication, you couldn't really do a reindex, so I just created a tmux session and ran that thing. It took several days. Step 2, we needed, of course, well, actually kind of step 1, we needed to get the mappings. So I'm going to put some stuff on the screen there to show you. I got the mappings, and just to make sure, we had to make sure that our 2 databases, mappings-wise, were relatively the same. And then finally, I created aliases. One thing I discovered a long time ago with Elasticsearch is you have your index, but you should reference your index through an alias. Because if you want to change your index or update or do whatever, prune it, you can just change your alias to what it points to. So we did all that. And of course, that took several days. So then we had to do another index migrate import to get that stuff that had changed in the last 2 days. Or I did the last 2 weeks, just to be safe. With doing that kind of re-import, the nice thing is that if you had stuff that was exactly the same, it just overwrote it. It was no problem. Then I ran a script called count Elasticsearch checks, or check Elasticsearch counts probably, and it compared the document counts. I did also spot check some queries. I knew the document counts weren't going to be exactly the same. I wasn't exactly worried about that. We have a lot of data from all over, and I think the new one was always better. So after migrating and doing some spot checks, I noticed that one of my aggregations always returned 0. And what I'd done is I'd written a query on a non-indexed field years ago. This had actually never worked. I didn't notice it in OpenSearch, but when I ran these spot checks, I was like, that's interesting. Why is this always 0? So my little tip for the day is doing a refresh of all your code or even your backends and everything will always shake out some little bugs. I think it's worth the pain. So why do I still use Elasticsearch? I use, as most of you will know, MySQL. I'm a big fan of MySQL, but I'm also a big fan of Elasticsearch because it handles unstructured data. And that, for something like Amazon orders and things like this, is so good. It's fast, it's flexible, it's strong, it's battle-tested, easy to cluster, and once you tame it, it's a beast, but you can tame it and it's your beast. Do you want my full migration toolkit? I've kind of glossed over everything in here. You can grab it all in a zip. The link is going to be below, or probably I'll put it on screen here. But I'll send you a zip with all that stuff. And are you running a Rails app, which also has some kind of infrastructure debt? Why don't you check out my Rails Rescue Sprint service? It helps devs fix broken apps and messy tech. Like and subscribe if you want more real-life Rails stories, not just blah blah tutorials. See you soon.